Yes, now family, welcome back to another video on Jazza TV. Tonight we're going off on a rant. This is a rant video, this one, and this is my issue with boxing. Now, for 20 years I've been in boxing. Well, 20 years not as a professional, 20 years altogether, maybe more. Started 13, 50, yeah, 20 years I've been in boxing. Now, until only recently, well, recently in the last year, it's been a very, very dark year, because I'll take my own sorry family, I'll take responsibility for my own behaviours here in this situation. I'll say it's very hard, been very hard this year, because I've been getting used to getting treated a certain way. Since I was an amateur, I was always treated well, very, very well. Little did I know, because you just getting loved, you're getting loved off these amateur coaches, and the better you are, the more love you get, and that's just the reality of it. But I didn't know that. But it doesn't take nothing away, because these amateur coaches, they do it for nothing. And it started off that way, and I was getting more attention because I was good, and because I was good, I was getting more attention, and I just thought boxing was the best place in the world for me, because the people, they love me in boxing. So that's been my situation all these years, the 20 years in boxing. Well, I call it 19 of them now. 19 years in boxing. There's still good people, don't get me wrong, there's still good people, because I've met a lot of good people. And so I always say, in boxing, the worst people in the world and with the best people in the world, and I'm lucky enough to have met the best people in the world, but the very few compared to the rest, who I would say in my world, these are the worst people in the world, family ammo, because it's brutal what I'm about to go into now. So if I'm wrong, I will put my hands up and say, look, maybe I was a bit harsh there, and maybe I was going by my own feelings and stuff like that, and I hope I'm not. I hope I've got a balance, and I hope I can see it for what it is, because I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been meaning to put a video up to warn young fighters going through the situation, or going into boxing, into professional boxing. I've been meaning to do it, but I just had to get the words right before I done it, because it is dangerous, and you can come across very bitter, and even worse than bitter, you could be wrong. So what I have seen all these years is nothing but kindness and help and support and care and love, and what was given to me, I've always thought, give it, pass it on. If people are showing me this care and kindness and love, I can pass it on. Now, when I was young, I went to a boxing gym. Our gym was getting renovated, the Golden Gloves. When I joined the Golden Gloves, I was getting renovated, and we went to train in the gym. A gym called in Liverpool, it's called the 051 gym. It was getting renovated, and in the gym there was bodybuilders and doormen and MMA fighters. At the time, MMA, I don't think fucking hell, come on Herbie, sort yourself out. This car should be driving itself, and it's just crashing into curbs and stuff like that. But anyway, Herbie aside, we went to the 051. I lost me. Where was I then? So we went to 051, and it was quite intimidating, to be honest, because it was, what was it, 15 years old maybe? 15, and the big men, big fellas, you know, and Dorman, and they're kicking each other, and they're lifting weights, and the grunting, and the big and strong men. I'm about maybe 6.5 stone, little fella, but I wanted to be big and strong, you know. And on the first day, when I went in there was one fella, I'll never forget it, his name was James, and he came over to me and he put his hand out. I weren't willing to speak to anyone, just let my head down, just crack on, wait for my coach to get here. He'll guide me through what we need to do, and he'll tell us why we're here in this gym, sort of thing. And this fella came over, James, and James put his hand out and said to me, "Hi mate, nice to meet you. My name's James, what's your name?" And he was a grown man, and I said, "My name's James as well." And the kindness and the warmth that this fella gave me, I've tried to replicate it with anyone who comes into a gym. If I ever come over to you with the same approach, it was me acting like James. James was a lovely fella, and it gave me so much confidence that I could speak up for myself, and I could shake this fella's hand, and he learned me how to interact with people and how to welcome people, and just pure kindness, you know what I mean? Because some people come into a gym, they're terrified. You get people who are insecure going in gyms, you see it a lot. that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't go into gyms or into new environments, because they just haven't got the confidence to go in there. So I always try and be James in this situation. Now, I always think James was helping for helping's sake. There was no agenda in it for James. There was nothing in it for him. I was just a kid, probably like well, probably say a naughty kid, you know what I mean? It probably didn't benefit him whatsoever to go out of his way and do that. He was a lovely fella. So James, thank you if you're watching this. I haven't seen you much over the years. I've seen you every now and again. I go past you and I let on, but I've never got to say thank you for what you've done for me, because it changed my life in many ways. It changed my approach to approaching people. So what I got out of it, rambling a little bit here, but I've got a lot of gratitude for that situation. I got a new insight in life. So James showed me that being nice for being nice sake. When I started doing that myself, I started trying it. It was such a reward. It was so rewarding. The feeling you get out of it, it's the same feeling he must have got that day for welcoming someone into the gym. If that was the reward, that was payment, that was his reward in itself. So being nice for being nice sake. So where I'm going with this is, so then turning professional. For all them years, people are always nice to me. But little did I know, I'm not looking at myself as a boxing champion or someone who's dedicated and has got the ability to be world champion. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm just looking at it as me, Jazzy, you, whoever you are, and that's how we interact. There's no ego, there's no like hierarchy, anything like that. We're just people, aren't we? That's how I see it. But I didn't know that other people until I got a little bit older, until I started seeing how these people were treating other people who weren't as good as Jazzy. So what I started realising is, if there's no gain in it for these people, they're not gonna give you their time. Now, I thought they were giving me time because they were nice people, and that's what people do. Because you come from the amateur system, that's what amateur coaches do. They give time to people who can't box, never will be able to box, and they're just getting off the street and they're saving lives, and they're giving people lives, giving lives to lead, starting lives. That's what amateur coaches do. I'm just driving around here, by the way. I'm going to the gym in a minute, but I've just said I'll just go on a little spin and have a little rant. It's going to turn into an hour-long video, this, isn't it? And I'm going to be lost. But anyway, yeah, that's what I thought it was. So, but it turns out that it wasn't that. And these people were giving time to people where their time, where it's going to come back to them and it's going to be beneficial to them. Now, I'm not stupid. Obviously, we all have lives to live. These people in boxing gyms, they're not doing it for free. It's a professional sport, and they should be paid and they should earn money. I'm not saying that. It goes along with the sponsorships as well. So I've met a few sponsors who are happily just there to help you, but I've also met sponsors, endorsements, who when you lose, they're gone. They're no longer around until you start winning again, and then that's when they appear again. So you get a difference between them people. I had one friend who sponsored me for 6 months with a broken jaw. Stephen Irwin, his name was, not the crocodile hunter. Steve Irwin, my friend, he'll be a friend for life. He sponsored me for 6 months, and I had a broken jaw. I weren't gonna fight. Obviously, he has a broken jaw, but he sponsored me to the world title, and then 6 months after the world title, it was only personal situation for him why he stopped, because I believe he still would be to this day. He's just a really, really kind fella, and you meet people like that. That's why I say some of the best people in the world, some of the worst people in the world. Some sponsors have had where you don't even speak to them after the loss. You know, before the win, before a loss, you're having to allocate time for them because they want so much out of you, and then after a loss, you're gone. So I've seen people lose fights, and people who was in their corner the day before the fight, and the night of the fight, they were in their corner in a boxing ring. They've got no business being in a professional corner, but they have been in a corner. I've seen that person the next day and brought up the conversation. The conversation's gone like this: me talking about, oh, he lost last night. Let's have a conversation, a little bit of sympathy and how we're gutted for them. And this person said to me, oh yeah, he's fucking finished, isn't he? And I think, what do you mean he's finished? You was in the corner with him last night. You're the one who should be feeling the pain with him. I thought that's what I thought that's what I thought that's what these relationships are. So when I turned professional, I thought I had to have a relationship with everyone. I thought professional promoters, managers. I thought because we were getting into a relationship from an innocent perspective, from a child who's going from a boxing gym where you've got great people like Joe Harper, Kevin Smith, Dave Thompson, my coach at one point as an amateur, Paul Lawson, David Burke, George Treble, and so many more, to be honest. Stephen Ungy was a great one for this type of stuff, just to helping people, just helping these kids to then go on professional. I didn't know we were business transactions. I didn't know that somebody could see somebody as a business transaction until only recently. And I didn't know that they were investing their time in them to pull it out. I didn't know that. I had no idea that this was professional boxing. Now, I'm only saying this to you because if you're going into a professional boxing, it's going to be hard because you're still going to see it like that. You're still going to say, no, that was Jazz's story, not mine. These are good people I've got around me, and it's obvious you're going to see it like that. But what I'm saying is, just these people you never ever knew. You're going to meet good people along the way, but also just have your eyes out, because you don't have to give time to everybody, because not everybody's your friend, if that makes sense. The friends of your status, and they like to be attached to your status when you're doing well. And I hope that you never come across a loss and you never feel that you sort of feel betrayed a little bit by this type of behaviour. But I hope you never come across that, because it's harsh, you know what I mean? But just keep your eyes out and be aware. So what the whole conversation here is about is, only recently there's a few fighters, Liverpool fighters, and when I turned professional, I say that a lot, don't I? When I turned professional, so when I turned pro, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have no family in the sport. I didn't know no one around me who could guide me. So I just had to go by good people's advice. And I was in a group chat, luckily enough, it was called the Mersey Gloves. The Mersey Gloves was a magazine. It was Chris Walker and oh my god, it's me mate, his name's gone blank. Speedy and Chris Walker was making a magazine, and he was a group chat, but in the group chat was Derry Matthews, Paul Edwards, Joe Selkirk, Tony Bellew, a few Tony Bellew's mates, Frankie Gavin. It was a mad group chat, by the way, and like some of the stuff that was in there, it should never ever not be in there. It should stay in there forever, otherwise we're all going away for conspiracy. But these people guided me, so I ended up having a little trial in Arnie Farnell's gym, which was fantastic. I went down with Frankie Gavin. Tony Bellew took me down there with him. Where else did I have a look? I went down to Georgie Vaughan's gym at the start of the Vaughan camp, where Paul Edwards was. A good little gym. Who else was in there at the time? I think Selkirk was in there at the time. And then I also went with Derry. Derry took me up to Oliver Addison's gym. We had a good little look around there. At the time, Oliver Addison had Martin Murray. I think he had Jamie Moore, maybe at the time. I'm sure he did. But I wasn't a big boxing fan, didn't watch boxing like that growing up, so I didn't actually know who these people was. But this was the camp. He had a great camp, and then obviously he had Derry. I knew Derry as a local community star, you know, so that's why I knew who Derry was, because he was a big name from where I was from. Still is. So yeah, so what I'm going on about here is only recently trying to give it a touch to. I know what it's like to have nobody to guide you or back you, because here's the truth on what you're gonna see a lot of the time is nobody wants to fucking help you, because you don't give nothing back to them. It's a deal, it's a transaction, you're transactional, but no one wants to help you because helping to I'm so angry about it. So if your transaction, you're not giving nothing back, and that's what people don't want to help you for. But being a helper for helper's sake, it's just not enough for people in the world of boxing. Now, finances is the is the transaction. That is the transaction that people are going to get out of it. Some people, like coaches and managers, kudos is the thing that they're going to get out of it. If it's not finances, it's kudos, and obviously, of course, is success. So if you're in that situation, I'm going to start my own management company. I'm going to help fighters, and I'm not going to take fuck all from these fighters, because I'm going to do a bounce here because I'm just getting lost on this rant. So yeah, so I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to help fighters. I'm going to help fighters who need a touch for a bit of guidance. Now, I'm happily, obviously I've got my own career, I've got my own family, career and a family, and I've got my own businesses, so just be mindful of that. I'm not saying I'm not going to be selective on who it is. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying is, if I can help you, I will, but be mindful that I've got my own shit going. There'll be times when I'm too busy and I can't help, but there will be some times where I might be able to give it touch. So if you need any help, just send me a message on social media and get in touch. And tomorrow I'm going to go for a meeting with a promoter to try and get the ball moving for somebody, because here's what I got from it. The conversation with the lad is, how do you go about it? I want to do it, but there's no leads, there's nothing to hold on to, there's no avenues I know how to go down, nobody's guiding me, no one's giving me any sort of guidance on what to do next. And I think that's so important, just a little bit of what to do next. I had that, but I was ABA champion when I was getting that. Although I felt lucky that I was getting that. People want to help you when you're doing well, but when you're not doing well, people don't want to help you as much. So just be mindful of that if you're turning professional. And I'm caught between two things, me: gratitude for every situation that I come across, because you win or you learn, or it's like, fucking hell, no one wants to help you. So just make sure that you make the most of it, and look after number one. I'm always caught between them two things, especially when you've got a family and you're trying to put your family first, and then your time's allocated to other things and stuff like that. And like, you get like, you could be walking down the kids district with your kids, or you could be going for them, you've been away for 4 weeks. This is like a scenario that comes up often. I go away for 4 to 6 weeks, come home, I'm with my kids, and I post, I'm back in Liverpool, I'm with my kids for that weekend. We haven't seen each other, it's great, and I get a message, want to come down to the gym and give some time to the kids. You know what I mean? So you're conflicted there, aren't you? You know what I mean? Of course, you're conflicted. It's like, fucking hell, what do we do? I've got my own kids, you know what I mean? So it can be like that, but I think it's important to try and keep it like that, because like I say, not everybody wants to give back unless it's something in it for them. Keep going around in circles here, but what I'm trying to say is, boxing is like that. That's the way, that's the nature of boxing. You get people in this sport who won't appreciate anything that I'm saying here. Actually, they'll despise me for what I'm saying, because it outs them and it outs what they're about. These people come into the sport, and what they do, they strawman, they manipulate, and they tell fighters they're not worth what they're worth. So say like someone offer a fighter, a good fighter, he'll offer him a fucking shitty wage, you know what I mean? Terrible wage to do something that they would never have the balls to do. So then when the fighter says no, he says, you're not worth that much. Who is any promoter to tell, or manager, who's never stepped foot in the ring, who's never put the balls on the line and risked getting knocked out in front of thousands of people on live television? Who's he to tell a fighter what he's worth? Now, I understand commercial value, I understand that, but that's not what they're doing sometimes. Sometimes they're strawman fighters to make the fighter believe. It's just the nature of the business. It's so dark, getting fighters to believe that they're worth less than what they are. But the truth is, if you are a fighter, a young fighter coming through, you are a champion. You've got fucking big balls to do what you do. Speaking to a little fella last night, he had his first professional fight. Very, very proud of him. He said he was nervous going in there, but fantastic. Had the balls to get in there in front of all them people. And you fighters are real champions, and never ever let go of that, and always remember that just to get in the ring, you are a real champion. Your value is worth more than anyone else in the sport, because the sport revolves around you. So yeah, that's my rant over. I'm gonna go in the gym now. and train. I'm going to take my manager's hat off and put my fighter's hat back on. I'm going to go work away. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Please like, subscribe and leave a comment. Sorry if it got a bit dark, but the reality of boxing, it is dark. Thank you, family. I'm out.